Nobody laughed.
That didn't land as good as I thought it would. We're going to get started working through the agenda before we get to our special guests. And Dave Anderson has volunteered to give our prayer or inspirational message tonight.
Thank you, Councilman. Join me in a prayer, please. Father in heaven, we are very grateful to be here this evening. We're grateful for this wonderful community, this wonderful land, and all the blessings that we're afforded here. We thank thee for those that have gone before us to make Spanish Fork such a great place. We pray that thou will bless everyone involved in tonight's meeting, that they will be inspired and supported to make decisions that will make it the best community it can be today, and for those who will be here in the future. We also ask that thou will bless those who are not with us tonight, that they will enjoy safe travels to join us again in the future, and say these things humbly in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I've asked Councilman Argyle to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
The audience, please rise and repeat the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we hand this off to Councilmember Beck to introduce our guests of note, you'll notice we're missing a couple people up here today. Mayor Leifson is down in St. George, who just welcomed, I'm not sure the number, but it's a brand new granddaughter, and I think it's got to be...
When you say number, weight,
how many?
Weight, height,
No,
you mean how many
yeah.
grandkids?
Angie,
We lost
you're
track.
the mayor's secretary. No? Yeah. But we wish that him and Mrs. Mayor, Cheryl, best of luck with a new grandbaby. Mayor reports that she's not letting him hold her at all, so she's hogging the whole time with the grandbaby. And Kier is out of the country, I believe, on military business. So
No.
It's not military business. Something else?
Just a joy
Oh boy!
trip to
All right.
Italy.
Well, all right.
Wow. Hopefully he's watching.
We miss them both, and we wish them safe travels on their way back. Councilmember Beck.
Okay, well, you know you're a guest if you're here with your hair parted down the middle and a ponytail in. So we just want to recognize the Spanish Fork High School drill team, region and state champs this year. We were at our annual budget retreat. We hate to call it a retreat because it's not fun. Work session. And I was sitting by Brandon, and we were watching you guys on YouTube, and we're like, yes, we were so happy.
No, we weren't.
Yeah.
We're not paying attention.
So we were all super excited. We were excited that you guys were able to ride the fire truck down Main Street, and all super sad that we were not able to see you there. But we just wanted to recognize you and thank you for your classy way that you represent Spanish Fork. We have head coach Rachel Shaw, assistant coaches Leslie Swenson, Elise Freeland, Joni Holmes, and is it Holmes? That's what right when I said that, I thought, oh no. And Taylor Overstreet. And this is the first time that Spanish Fork High School has ever taken state. So... And I was a Las Cholita. I guess we're always Las Cholitas because now it's like Las Cholita for life, right? Class of '89, so 30 years ago. Yeah, pretty cool. So we want to invite Avery Higginson. You're Avery.
Right,
we just want you to come up, stand right here, and tell us either a highlight or your favorite thing of this year so far. Yep, just talk in there because there's cameras up here. You're on TV.
Okay. Millions watching, Avery.
No pressure.
Yeah, this year was very rewarding, not only because we won state, like that was the biggest reward, but even being on the drill team, like, and everyone on the team, everyone set a goal from the very beginning to win state, and not just like 10 or 15 girls, all 33 of us wanted it, so that's how we did it. And it was just an awesome year, and we have some of the best coaches in the world, and they take out so much time from their families and their daily lives to make us become state champs. So yeah, it was an awesome year.
Well, congratulations.
Avery, can I ask a question? Did your dad do did he do the dad drill down this year?
No, he did not.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't.
Do you remember what he did to me last year?
You won, right?
He
Well,
did
Yeah,
not.
Wyan, yeah.
No, I didn't win, but it was rigged. It was bad judging. But he told me it was going down and he didn't. So I just thought maybe he would redeem himself and do that. That's too bad. I'll bet Vern did it. Oh, jeez.
Is there a dad in this room that did the drill down?
Yep, Randy did it.
Randy Hess, way to go. Okay, we want to have a photo, so we're just going to have all the drill girls stand. We are going to go down here, and Scott's going to come up here and take a picture, and then we'll come back up here, and we want you to all file through so we can shake your hand.
This way?
Facing this way? No, we're facing this way.
So yeah, you're gonna stay there.
Oh, yeah.
Will you move to the podium? The second row and third row is gonna need to squat a little bit. Got it? Brandon, you're gonna have to squat because we can't see Joni. Joni coming this by Rachel. Can you see everybody?
Yep, I think so.
My knees are starting to shake. I don't do this every
You can handle it.
No.
So if you guys want to start here, over here with Stacy, around the
Then we'll go this way.
This was just walk across the podium right there.
Congratulations. Way to go.
Hey, way to go.
Congratulations. Way to go. Congratulations. Way to go. Congratulations.
Way to go.
Way to go. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Good job, girls.
Good job.
Good job.
Congratulations. Good work. Way to go. Congratulations. Congratulations. Large is your dad? Oh my gosh. Nice job. Thank you. Congratulations, you guys. Way to go. Way to go. Congratulations. Good work. Congratulations. Good work. Congratulations. Way to go.
There's so many of you.
Good work. Way to go. Good work. Way to go. Good work. Congratulations.
That was a lot.
Almost everybody's here.
That's pretty cool. This is
This is so great. Thank you.
I think that's juniors.
Yeah,
That's okay. We're used to it.
it's all downhill from here anyway. Super boring.
Oh, that's right. We can go to the basketball game, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Way to go.
Can I have
What a cool kid.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thanks. Way to go.
Thanks. Good work.
Way to go. Way to go.
See you guys. Good luck
See ya.
tonight.
That was great.
Welcome. It went from 45 to 1.
You're coming back.
making room for staff. Well, that was great. Good work. Lots of fire truck rides down Main Street in 2018, and that was the first one of 2019, right? Okay, with that, we'll move to item number 4, public comments. Anybody here from the public that is here to address the city council? Okay, seeing none, we will go to consent items. Oh, excuse me. We're not going to skip council comments. Let's go to council comments. We will start over with Councilman Argyle.
Thank you, Councilman Mendenhall. I'd just like to mention that last Friday the seniors had their Valentine dinner and dance, and it's always a great success. Me and my wife get to go down there and be a part of that. They know how to dance. I don't. It amazes me how much they can shake the rug or whatever it is, but they know how to dance, and it's a delight to see them get together and have that celebration, and it's always well attended, so thank you.
Great. Councilman Gordon?
Thank you, Councilman Mendenhall. Just wanted to touch on, we were able to go up to Local Officials Day at the end of January, and it was good to be with our local officials. I was not able to attend Bills and Bagels. Was that last Saturday morning or Saturday before last? And I understand there was a lot of people there, and that's good. Please get involved if you've got issues or concerns with the going-ons. Please reach out to your local representatives. They're very approachable and hardworking individuals, and so it was good to go up to Salt Lake on Local Officials Day and discuss some of the issues down in our neck of the woods with our local representatives. Been working on the new fire station, 62. Been reviewing proposals from architectural firms. We've been vetting them, and that process is going. So just wanted to report on that. We've been spending some time grading and reviewing those proposals as things go forward for the new fire station that'll be built up on Canyon Road and 2550 East. And then the last thing I have to report is that the Solid Waste District, the approval and purchase of the land in Spanish Fork did go through, so we'll begin the design process for a new transfer station just north of the jail. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Beck.
Okay, a couple things. First of all, the library, they posted on their Facebook page a kind of a big announcement that we're excited about. It says that they are excited to announce that they are not charging overdue fines on children's books. This is a trial until the end of June. So if you have an overdue book, just get it in. There will still be charges for any lost items, but again, it's just only applying to books, not DVD or anything else. But anyways, I think this will be a good move and really encourage families that even if their book's late, to just get it in, get more books. Our goal here is to get hands in the books of all of these kids. And then I wanted to share, Tara Silver is over our youth city council, and so to piggyback on the dance and dinner down at the Senior Citizen Center that Chad was just talking about, she said that Austin, one of the boys on our youth city council, kept asking women who were by themselves to dance, and they were ecstatic. One was 97 and another was 98 years old. And the youth were asking, what kind of dances are we going to do when we get older? Because we don't know any of their moves. And they said that, I guess we'll have to do the floss. And our fearless leader, Tara Silver, suggested that they learn something other than the floss because they could break a hip at 97 years old. So those kids are awesome to go down and help and spend their time there. And just a reminder, Miss Spanish Fork, that will be on March 16th at Maple Mountain High School. And last Wednesday there was a big snowstorm that came through Spanish Fork, and I hit Maple Mountain High School right at the wrong time. It was like 2:40 coming out, just going down the road, big snowstorm. And there were probably 30 cars on that road, and a car, maybe 3 in front of me, just veered off, went into the ditch, and tipped right over. But right behind me were, I'm sure they were Chris's crew. 3 guys jumped out of the Spanish Fork City truck, pulled over. All I could see out of the rear view mirror is the guy doing this, okay, and then they're all walking around the car. So everybody was safe, but I was thankful that I didn't have to get out of my car. So pass that along. I don't know who they were. I couldn't tell from my rear view mirror, but I'm sure it was one of your guys, Chris. So that was nice that they helped those youth. So that's all I have.
Thank you. A couple things to report on. Brandon touched on local officials' day at the legislature and goings on with the state legislature in session with the League of Cities and Towns. It's kind of a little bit of a joke, but not really a joke, that there's 17 days left in the legislature, and typically it's down to the hour of note how long they're in session, because it really is a collaborative effort with our state elected officials and local officials, not just in our city, but all 248 cities around the state, and what that can, what different laws passed can have effects in your city. A lot of those that are being discussed, that you're hearing about in the media, with sales tax, discussion of what the formula is that cities share in that sales tax, also taxing services and changing those rates can have a lot of effect on what our budget looks like in a city. And so I appreciate all of our council and our good mayor and also staff, Seth, Tyler, Dave, are relied upon a whole lot for other cities and for data to back up our position when simply we're asked to either testify in a committee or send data up to the Hill that's key in decisions of what bills get discussed, debated, and make it out of committee to either the Senate floor or the House floor. So appreciate Brandon mentioning that, and again, appreciate everyone's involvement from Spanish Fork. We're doing a good job with communicating with our legislators, but also the league and the data that they rely on. Active and Healthy Committee has continued to just grow, and it's on our agenda later tonight. I see Craig Baker here to be discussing it later in our agenda. Some exciting news there, but I wanted to touch on the QPR training that's going on constantly throughout the movement. Question, Persuade, Refer is happening tonight. In fact, Amber's not too excited about it because she's got to be involved in teaching our ward tonight. She's a little nervous. Yeah, it'll be good for her. I told her. That's good. Yeah. Susan's there. Also, who's our, not Bronco, other one that's on your ambulance? Taylor Banks was teaching it tonight as well. And again, I just appreciate, those are city employees that do a whole lot for us, but tonight they're taking time away from their family and teaching a church group about how to see the signs of suicide and help people get help in an emergency. So really cool stuff, and it's being seen elsewhere throughout the state too about what we're doing. Lastly, I was invited to speak on a panel in March that is called the No Poverty Summit, and again, this goes a little bit along with the Active and Healthy initiative of trying to help people remove barriers from people that they might have in accessing health and in accessing help to overcome poverty as well. This goes along with a little bit of what's going on in the Rotary Club right now. The Rotary Club is met already once with at the direction of Dr. Tracy Franson, who's our president this year, to come up with a fund that can help kids that if they don't quite have the funds together, if parents don't have the funds to enroll in some parks and rec activities, that there will be some funds set aside and available for these kids to basically apply for a scholarship fund to play sports. The reason why I say it with this No Poverty summit that I've been invited to is because it was really, when I talked to Dr. Franson about this, it was because of a organization that I came and spoke to their, it's called Circles, and spoke to their graduating class of graduating out of poverty. And these are families that have just went through a course to learn how to come out of poverty and tools to budget money better. And in that, there was a part of what the first thing that they teach people is to take a 2-liter bottle and try to fill it up with coins, right? Fill it up with change. And they thought, well, if you fill that up with dimes, I think it was dimes, if you fill that up with dimes, you'll have, I can't remember, it was a couple $100 or something. And that'll help you start to save and do some other things. This family talked about that bottle and filling it up with dimes, and said we had it almost halfway full, but then their daughter, who was there with them, said, Lucy or whatever her name was, says she wanted to play soccer, and so we thought that was a good enough reason to break into the bottle and use the dimes and put her in soccer, because we thought that was a good thing. And it about broke everyone's heart that was in there, that the families just saving up, trying to make their way, and broke their savings in this poverty instruction of to have little Lucy play soccer. But coming out of that, I think we have scenarios where we can help, and I appreciate the Rotary Club stepping up to do that. They've met once with a focus group that will be out requesting donations to try to fundraise and make this fund possible for kids and parents to apply for grants and stuff to play when they can't afford it. So watch for that. It'll be coming from the Rotary Club. So good work, local Rotary Club. You know who you are. Okay, with that, no other council comments. We'll go to consent items.
Motion to approve the consent items.
Second?
A motion by Councilman Gordon and a second by Councilmember Beck to approve the consent items. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Takes us to number 7, new business, and it's John's annual visit. Is it that what it is about?
Yeah, I'm afraid so.
SFCN cable TV rate increase. Thanks, John.
Council members, I used to really look forward to coming up here,
Keep
getting
it
a chance
cherry.
to talk to you.
Keep it cherry.
It's not
There you go.
cherry. It's not cherry. This is not my favorite subject to get in front of you and talk about. So, as you know, every year we have to do a rate increase because our costs go up. And so what I'm going to do today is talk a little bit about that. It's just getting to be depressing to me that we have to do this every year, but it is something that we face. There. Did you do that or did I?
I did that.
All right, so when you see me go like this.
Pay attention, huh?
So a few things I want to talk about here. Just that the good old days of a partnership with the people who produce the channels like ESPN and Disney, those days are long gone. It used to be that they helped us, have a good lineup and get the product in front of our customers that they wanted to see. And that has really changed over the years, and any longer it's an adversarial type of relationship, which is sad. But that's because they just continually want to raise the price. That's really all they care about, just give us more money over and over and over again. As far as I can see, none of the channels care about the overall cost of cable. All they care about is that they get their slice of the pie. They don't care what the burden is to the customer. And it really makes for an unhealthy industry. And that's really what's happened to cable TV. It's not very healthy. And this is across the entire country. It is not just an issue with SFCN. Across the country, it's just not very healthy. And the last item there is the antenna channels. Channels you can get with an antenna are some of our most expensive channels now. You go back a decade or so, they were free. And now they charge us for those channels. Even when I offered, I said, what if we gave them away free? Would you let us do that? If we gave them away free, would you not charge us? And they said, no. You can give them away free, but we're going to charge you anyways. So it's really gotten to be a very difficult position. This works great, by the way. So as I was going through this, I kind of wanted to talk about this. This is from cabletv.com, and there's been some lawsuits that people are actually pushing on our competition because they have all these hidden fees. And so I encourage people who may look at the price, and good luck at that, by the way. Finding the actual price of our competition's product is really hard to do. They like to hide it. But they really hide this in that they charge a broadcast fee of about $10 per month. It's not included in their price. So you see a price there, and maybe it's a special price for 12 months, but this is on top of that. And so you have to add that. Regional sports fee. You don't have any choice, by the way. You have to add it. You have to pay that. Regional sports fee for $8.25 every month. They charge for installation, of course, SFCN. We're always free on our installation. Reactivation fees, we never charge a reactivation fee. And this was from cabletv.com, this HD technology fee, which I have not seen implemented here, but they claim that that can be a $10 charge also. But I haven't seen that on anybody's bill yet. So we never do any of those. None of those exist. You don't have to have a set-top box with ours, whereas they would require a set-top box even for expanded basic. Our system is designed, just take the coax, hook it onto your TV, scan your channels, and away you go. It's pretty rare in the industry any longer, so you don't have to pay a rental fee for that. So these are the new prices. Quickly, basic will go up $1.82 to $24.94. Expanded basic will go up to $87.55. That's a $5.29 difference. Again, these are exactly to the penny how much our cost went up. So all of the channels want a little more money, and that's what causes the $5.29 increase. Super Digital is a little better now just because of how the grouping of the channels went, and so we get a little bit, not quite as big an increase on the Super Digital, and we're doing everything we can to try to keep these prices down, believe me. In negotiations through the NCTC, also with negotiations directly, because some of the channels we don't get through the NCTC. Your full package will go up to $131.70. That includes all the cable television that we offer, and then triple play is $129.51. Notice the amount increase on triple play is the same as expanded basic, because triple play includes telephone service, internet service, and also expanded basic cable television. Any questions on those prices? It is unfortunate, and we really do want to keep this as low as we can. Negotiations go late, and NCTC, the latest one was the NBC Universal, the NBCU stuff. They just got those negotiations done in the last few weeks, so that's one of the reasons we're a little bit later getting this to you, because that's a big bucket of channels, and we didn't know what the price point was going to come in at yet. So we postponed that because our cost, we don't estimate how much it's going to go up. It is to the penny how much our cost goes up. And it's been that way for over a decade and a half. We make the same amount of money that we did before because we don't charge anymore. So I did a quick look at the competition. Their expanded basic equivalent is about $91 plus your set-top box. So once you get their hidden fees in there, it comes in at about $91. You can see even at $87, we are very competitive with that. So we can stay competitive. The problem is not just us. The problem is across the entire industry. These prices continue to go up. I believe DirecTV is currently in, they don't have KSL, I believe, yeah, because of those same problem. They're trying to hold the price down. And you may see that happen to us too, because we are trying to hold the price down. Fortunately, at the NCTC helps us a lot. So the rate increase will go in effect on March 21st. So you will have 30 days to decide if you want to participate with the rate increase, and it won't show up on the customer's bill until May 1st because we bill in arrears, which is also very rare in the industry, but most you pay before you do. And that's all I brought. You know, I was looking at it, and Kent sent me something about an old brochure, one of the very first brochures we had at SFCN. And I was looking at that, and the price, basic was like $6. But you know, the internet price was the same. It hasn't changed. We've added some higher tiers, but the starter tier, when we very first started, is exactly the same. We have never had a price increase for residential internet, period. And we don't want
That's a cheery note to end on.
That's a cheery note.
Way to go, John.
The best I could find. So we probably just need to approve the new cable rates.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John.
Probably won't do it in a very cheery voice to improve the rate increase, but necessary. Appreciate the good work you do. I would entertain a motion on that agenda item.
I'll make a motion to approve the rate increase for SFCN 2019.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Beck, second by Councilmember Argyle to approve the cable television rate increases. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Item B, do we say that? Exena? Exena Group price change. Christopher Thompson.
Okay, Ascena Group is the company that we have hired to do our stormwater pollution prevention inspections on all the construction work going on in Spanish Fork City. When they came to us, they said they guaranteed that we would be compliant with our stormwater permit, and it seems like they are doing that, and they've done a very good job for us. We've had a contract with them for a couple of years, and they've come to us and said that industry-wide construction has gone up so much that they cannot find help for the amount of the original contract and ask for these rate increases. Our options are to accept these rate increases or to go back out to RFP. There's a significant amount of brain damage when you change over your inspection company. The one that we had before was like 12 years, and it's hard to make that transition. And so we currently have, I think, a 6-year contract with them, and it is our recommendation that we just negotiate these rate increases. Basically, for a general construction permit, this means you have one construction site that needs to be inspected either monthly or after a rainfall, within 2 weeks of rainfall. All the work going into approving their plans and then doing the inspections and then tying it up. Their charge would go from $120, from $85 to $120, and then I'm sorry.
That would go 85 to 105.
Go from
120 would
85
go
to 105, and then it would actually go from 120 to 140, and then for a combined plan where you might have a subdivision where you have a whole bunch of houses being built, but it's all combined under one general permit. For each individual lot, that would go from 85 to 105. So it's our recommendation that we continue the same contract, but with these new amounts.
We'll capture that increase in what we charge the development that gets the permit from us. Is that right?
100% of this cost is passed on to the developers, unless it's a city project. Then that project would bear the cost of this.
And then will your recommendation be to extend this contract probably with the new rates in July? Because I noticed that we go June on this.
So our recommendation is we start actually January of this year with these new rates. We've been working with them for about 8 months on these rates. And so our recommendation is that starting in January of this year, these rates be in place.
Retroactive.
Are you talking about the 7, you said we're contracted for 7 years?
So that contract would just stay the same. So we wouldn't extend it out. We wouldn't. Every 6 or 7 years, we just go out for RFP.
And we're in the first part of that 6 to 7 year contract?
We're partway through the 3rd year.
Okay. Any other questions for Chris? Entertain a motion on this item. I'll make a motion to approve the Accena Group price changes as laid out by Chris.
Second?
Motion by Councilmember Mendenhall, second by Councilman Argyle. All in favor say aye. Aye. That passes. C, Resolution 1902, amending the type of water to be transferred to the city upon development.
Okay, so we have a really wonderful contract which is about to come to fruition, and that is with the Central Utah project, the Utah Lake System, where we will have the right to about 8,000 acre-feet of water coming to us. It's our desire to become dependent on this water, and so what we would like to do is, rather than accept water with new development, we would like new development to pay the actual cost of what this contracted water will be, so that as we start accepting this water, we will have a need. 8,000 acre-feet of water is a lot of water. We currently use 12,000 acre-feet of water a year, and so we feel like now is a good time to start planning ahead to have the new growth be dependent on that water as we start taking it. And so this resolution would basically preclude developers from bringing water to the city unless it was strawberry water attached to the ground, which there's not much else you can do with that water, and it's really good water. But other than that, then developers would have to pay for this contracted water that we have coming.
Thank you. Any questions on this one? Again, I think it's already been discussed, especially appreciate in the work session, the work you put into this and explaining it to us. And this is another thing Spanish Fork, I think, is on the leading edge of being a good steward of water, both with all the programs we have of pressurized irrigation and metering it, and now the controllers and everything. And I know this is on new developments coming in, but this is something that I think you're right. We're looking to the future here that'll continue to help save the most precious asset in the desert that we live in. So good work.
It's a really complicated utility.
Yeah. I move this resolution be adopted, resolution number 19-02, a resolution amending the type of water to be transferred to the city upon development.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Gordon, seconded by Councilmember Beck. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oh, this has got to be a roll call vote, sorry. It says that at the bottom there. I should have read it. Roll call vote, Councilmember Beck.
Aye.
Councilmember Mendenhall, aye. Councilman Gordon.
Aye.
Councilmember Argyle.
Aye.
That passes. Thanks, Chris. If anybody has about 3 hours, spare
Yeah, I'd be
hours, you
happy
could
to
explain
sit down
that,
with anyone.
just so the public knows it's going to at least be that.
Spent a good amount of time talking about that at Midway. Appreciate all your work on that.
That's a lot of work.
Item,
These three got it twice, I think.
we were captured for a minute. Yep, when you were captured audience, it was good. Item D, Resolution 19-3, approving an interlocal agreement with Utah County related to the Emergency Watershed Program.
Okay, so we had some fires up on our mountain east of Spanish Fork, and on the other side of the mountain, we have a spring called Crab Creek Springs, and pretty much the whole little canyon or ravine that feeds into that spring burned. And with that, you're very concerned of what's called the debris flow. All the vegetation's gone. And so when you receive rainstorms, it picks up a lot of mud, which mud is very dense, much denser than water, and so it can bring down trees and boulders, and debris flows have caused a lot of damage in the past. Smashworks City seems to be really safe as far as anything right above the city, but our spring was a concern for us, and so we went up there and assessed the situation. We actually felt like there was high danger of debris flow in that canyon, and so we immediately put, as soon as we could, a bunch of heavy equipment up there, and we dug out a debris basin right above our spring and a really deep, 8-foot deep channel around the spring. And it was interesting, after most of that work had been done, our city crew was up on the side of the hill having lunch, and they heard this huge noise, and they looked up this canyon and they saw a tree just pop out of the forest area and come down, and they all turned their phones on and they videoed this debris flow come down the canyon, hit the debris basin, and then be channeled around our spring. And their efforts really saved the spring a lot of damage, and we got it all on video. It's really quite interesting. I should have brought it, but it's on a phone, and the version that I have is really grainy, so I can't show it to you right now. I promise to bring that. It's really fascinating. The language was clean.
Okay.
The language is clean.
But at any rate, there is a danger up there for our spring for future debris flows, and so we've been working with the county and partnering with the other cities. The county's lead agency to apply for some grants to revegetate. They throw out a lot of money in the grant application, but it's our intent to have all of our match be in kind with labor and equipment to go out there and do the work. So this is an interlocal agreement with us and the county, authorizing them to apply for grant monies that would benefit us, particularly with this spring.
Thanks again, Chris.
Good work. Any questions for Chris on this action? Okay, if not, I would entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
Motion to approve Resolution 19-03, approving an interlocal agreement with Utah County related to emergency watershed program.
Second?
Motion by Councilman Argyle, second by Councilman Gordon. This is a roll call vote. Councilman Argyle.
Aye.
Councilmember Beck.
Aye.
Councilmember Gordon.
Aye.
Councilmember Mendenhall. Aye. That passes. Okay. Thanks again, Chris. Item E, mental health hotline contract with Dr. Martin. We have Mr. Dale Robinson here that can give us an overview of this.
Did you wear your Doc Martens?
No,
Okay.
I didn't even think about it. That would have been good,
Would have been
wouldn't
a good play.
it? Yeah, it would have been.
You missed.
And thank you for at least checking.
Yeah.
As you know, and I'll just share this with our vast TV audience at home, the Active and Healthy Committee is interested in as much in the mental health of our community as we are physical health. They go together hand in hand, and so the committee's been working for a while with the grant that we've received from IHC to put together this program in conjunction with Dr. Sheldon Martin. To be able to provide some resources for our community. And so what's before you today is a memorandum of understanding for us to proceed and basically do some beta testing on a system that, in fact, I appreciate Craig Baker being here, who's an associate of Dr. Martin's, and I'd like to give him just a minute so he can maybe he's taken time to come, and so I'd like to give him a minute to share his thoughts on this. He's helping us work through this process, And once we test this, and this memorandum of understanding that we're looking for you to approve for the mayor's signature is for us to proceed with this testing period for 30 days at no cost. So that both parties can get a feel for whether this is something that's going to work the way we want it to and flush out the issues, and then we'll bring another contract before you if it's successful, where we can compensate these guys for their time. So if you don't mind, I'll turn a minute over to Craig.
Great.
Thank you so much. Worked with Dale, worked with Junior Baker, no relation, and I guess our concept is, and we had a nice meeting about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Concept is really this: is to find a seamless way, utilizing the website that the city has, where individuals can log in. We'll first identify, we have an organization, we'll identify them by a driver's license. We pay approximately $1.50, and they'll identify that they really are a citizen. It's like a TSA screen. They're a citizen of Spanish Fork. And once we have that, the opportunity is they'll be able to make an appointment. There'll be an initial assessment. This is not an emergency hotline. It was made clear that what we want is more of a proactive approach, so we don't get to that point. Our idea really is to put together a way the citizens of Spanish Fork can access this and talk to a therapist, confidential, and take care of those issues. We want to put together the logistics systems of that makes it comfortable. And we've suggested in our committee that we utilize committee members. We'll call up, we'll utilize it, see how it fits, see if it really is seamless before we go live. And then when we decide we're at a point, we'll use real people, but we want to put together a scenario. The idea, the key right now is just to make sure it isn't clunky. We're protecting the conflict where everything is HIPAA compliant, where we're protecting individuals, and it's a way that it's inviting and it works. That's why we suggested this. Let's beta test this. Let's make sure we're comfortable, everyone around. I think the concept is great. I think Spanish Fork is on the leading edge of this. We just want to make sure that technically it works and it rolls out nice. And I've talked to, and I don't know if it's appropriate, we've talked to Dale about a couple things that we're concerned about, and I made some suggestions to Dale that, we want to make it so people, once they're vetted, so to speak, they can make an appointment. It's been my experience, and I made the suggestion, you might want to charge just a little bit. Just so people don't, because sometimes when things are completely free, even if it's $10, where they're completely free, you might have a hard time with people making appointments and not showing up. And we're going to have therapists that are scheduling for that. That's something you guys might want to think about internally. We're going to work out the logistics aspects. We're comfortable with that. We want, and we're going to invite anyone here or on that committee to be a part of that process, to call in. What'll probably happen is we'll work with your IT people. Once they're vetted, we'll give them a link, and they can make an appointment. There'll be an assessment, just like a regular mental health assessment, a triage, so to speak. And they'll be directed, and we'll go from there. And we're going to work out that process internally. And that's how we are right now. We're beta testing. We want it to work. We really want it to work. Because I think, and I speak for Dr. Martin, I think this is something, if it's done right, can be utilized in other municipalities. And you guys are leading edge. So that's why we want to make sure it works. And I think the second part of it too, this is not just therapy, this is resource based. The whole idea is to utilize resources that are already out there, resources that perhaps are already in the community, the state, other nonprofits, so you're not running through grant monies. That's really a big part of it. So That's really all I have.
Great. Thanks, Craig.
Okay, thanks, Craig. I appreciate that. Yeah, our concern is, and we've heard this over and over again as we've gone through this process, is that people don't know where to find help when they need help. And this is very much preventative, is what we're looking at doing. So we're excited about the possibilities of this. Video therapy type stuff that you can do in the privacy of your own home. And so right now it's preliminary, so if we can get approval on the memorandum of understanding for the mayor to sign, then we'll proceed with the 30-day testing period. So do you guys have any questions?
I do. Is this going to be on the city's website when you guys say it's?
Yes.
Okay, and people just
Yes,
click on it and?
Yeah, Craig's already been talking
Right
with
through it.
Jeremy. Have you met with him yet? Okay.
We're-
Anyway, he's gonna, I have spoken to Jeremy and he's aware of what we're trying to do. And so, yes, it'll be a link off of our webpage.
Unless you come up, I think that's just the easiest delivery system, that you, if it's focusing to here, I mean, we could do anything you wanted, but you already have a website, I would think that.
No, I like that. I just wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that that was.
And we want it as seamless as we can from that website, so.
So they make their appointment online, and then it's a
They go to
video
your
session?
portal. They'll go to your portal.
Okay.
And then once that's been approved, we'll provide them a link to be off that portal. I think that's the best way to do it. But I think it needs to be directed from your portal. That's just how it is. And then we vet them from your portal, make sure they are who they are. And then the ones that are in the system, we'll talk about this. If they come back, or we use them another.
Craig, maybe you come with a microphone so they can hear you.
Thank you. And we'll let you guys decide that. The idea is we want it easy. Let's say you have an individual for the first time, you're going to have to do an assessment, they come to that website. You might make it easier that there's a portal that we give them. We just give them a login number, and they portal, and they'll come to that, not necessarily have to go to your website. We're going to track it anyway.
Right.
It's and we'll work that out. I think it's easy just to go to your website. And I think it's easy, just that's the portal that is. And because what you can do is, like any website, you can give relative information. They got to go there. There are things you might want to say there. There might be some proactive things that we want to say. You know, if you've ever had, do therapy, but there's like apps that are free out there, like Happify, you know, they're proactive. You might have a little message. You might have things you might want to say. It's just a good way. So my sense is we want to use your app. That's where we're going right now. They go into that portal and they link to us.
30 days?
But that's
Okay.
Yeah, so we encourage you to jump on and test drive it.
Yeah, and
Right.
anybody wants to be a part of
We
it.
get 30 days of therapy
Yes.
for free, or maybe
Yes.
$10?
And it would,
Oh,
well,
nice.
We'll let you
right
guys
now it's a
decide
test,
that.
right now it's a test drive, so,
Okay. Might.
yeah, so Chris would appreciate if,
I'm sure he will. He'll want me logged on tonight.
Well, thanks, Dale. Thanks for the work. I know Chief has been involved. Thank you for taking the time, along with Junior, Seth, and everybody that's been throughout this process. It's not easy when you're talking about health and mental health, and like Craig mentioned, when you're in uncharted territory and trying to figure it out. This has been a long process coming, but I think it's starting to pay off and see fruits of what we might be able to get to with some testing and see if it works. To your question, Stacy, about how would it work and the details of it, in my mind, I've always had the vision of, like, you see Intermountain Healthcare's commercials of if you get a cut or a scrape and you can see a doctor and see him. Somewhat, this is the mental health side of that. When these, when our trainers are out there teaching QPR classes, and you have an hour or so to teach these, and then there's some people that are probably left with some questions after that, and what everything else. And I'm thoroughly convinced that the efforts we've taken in so far with this, and Susan Chapman heading up that QPR initiative, has yielded fruits in our community already of people more healthy physically, but more healthy mentally as well. One thing I did neglect to mention earlier in Active and Healthy is the Nebo School District has taken note of this and is asked to team up with our QPR trainers and people and see about a program through them as well. So I see this as another tool that we can offer certainly for people to use. I'm encouraged that we're to this point and hope this testing goes really well. So thanks, Craig, for coming and making the time. Thanks, Dale. Any questions on this? None, Brandon? Chad? Okay. Entertain a motion to approve this mental health contract with Dr. Martin with the memorandum of understanding, mental health hotline beta testing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Gordon, second by Councilmember Beck to approve the mental health hotline contract testing with Dr. Martin. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, that passes. Item F, board appointments. I was reminded to, at this point, to make it clear that these are the mayor's appointments. I guess that maybe can, negate us. If these go bad, Junior, we can say, well, they're not our appointments, they're the mayor's appointments, right? I doubt these people will see him in any trouble anytime soon. The Arts Council, the mayor nominated Gladys Higginbotham, is that how we say it? Alyssa Rock and Candy Brandon to the Arts Council. And then the Fiesta Days Committee, Councilmember Beck is probably familiar with these people, Clint and Karen Muhlstein as vice chairs. They'll do good?
I think so. They're on a roll.
You don't know them?
I don't.
Oh.
Should I?
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Okay.
Karen is my next door neighbor.
Oh, boy. Well,
She used to babysit us.
she's not going to have
She
a,
used to babysit us, chase us with her flip-flop.
she's already had the toughest part of her life. This is going to be a cakewalk. Yesterday's.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, a motion to approve the mayor's recommendations to appoint these good folks to the Arts Council and the Fiesta Days Committee. Councilmember Beck, I'll second it. Councilmember Beck, motion, and Mike Mendenhall, second, to approve the mayor's recommendation to appoint. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great.
I move we go into closed session for reasonably imminent litigation and land transaction.
Second?
Motion made by Councilmember Gordon, second by Councilmember Argyle to go into closed session. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next.